I want to do this. Sorry, I'm just nervous. The ghost of a smile formed on Madame's red lips. Don't be. You'll do fine. What if no one wants me? She blurted out. Or what if she didn't make enough money to pay for her brother's care for, well, the rest of his life? Just because former virgins had become millionaires didn't mean she'd have the same fate. Maybe the bidders wouldn't appreciate her light brown skin, her average height, or curvier hips. God, that'd be so embarrassing. Almost worse than wearing the same ratty, tattered t-shirts and old shoes for work at Joe's Cafe. Almost worse than eating ramen noodles for a month to pay for the minimum amount of her brother's therapies. Madame tossed her lustrous black hair to the side. Nonsense. You're about to change your life, Amaya. You deserve this. Amaya chewed on her bottom lip, then stopped immediately. They'd applied some gloss to her mouth, and she had to make the most of her makeup. It's not like she could go home and try this again. No one ever tried again. Thank you. I'll call your name as planned. Good luck. Amaya rubbed her palms together. Apprehension clogged her throat. Please, God, don't let him be gross. Yeah, like God had time to worry about the sleazeball who bought her most precious gift with all the bad stuff happening in the world. Nice try. I'm all alone. Even more alone than those times after school, when her parents had apologetically asked her to fend for herself because they had their hands full with Diego. Even more alone than she'd felt after her high school prom date stood her up. Jackie nudged her elbow. You're up, she whispered, clenching her clipboard. Amaya walked between the heavy velvet curtains and sucked in a breath. Her heart hammered in her ears, surpassing the cheesy Katy Perry song currently playing. Maybe she should have picked opera or something more dignifying to a situation like this, to balance things out. A light shone over her, just like they'd rehearsed earlier, following her footsteps. Madame stood on the side, under her own spotlight, wearing a black designer gown and holding a sleek microphone. Unicorns had taken over the stage, both stuffed and plastic, colorful ones that people floated on at the pool. A huge oval bed had been brought to the center. Why? Amaya had no clue. No one would have sex in it or even sit. Maybe Madame wanted to lure potential buyers to the promise of sex. Before the auction, they always enjoyed drinks and fancy appetizers in a different room. Gathering courage, Amaya looked at the 100 men sitting on the chairs, all wearing gray masks that hid the upper portion of their faces. The lighting was also dimmed down, to create intimacy and to protect their identities. A blend of tall and short men, old and younger from what she gathered, filled the room. Staring at them was as dangerous as staring directly into the sun. She quickly averted her gaze to the stage and regretted telling Madame she enjoyed reading. The poster of Nabokov's Lolita hung over the bed, and everything clicked. They'd pulled together a luxury version of a teenager's room, even though she was 23 years old. She'd seen glimpses of the stage earlier, but had been too overwhelmed to notice small details. Well, it was too late for moral high ground now. Maybe it'd be easier if her buyer believed she was some brainless sex toy. This would make the deal smoother without any attachment from either side. Lolita is this week's featured virgin. She is 23, loves reading, working out, and going to the mall. When Amaya had filled out the paperwork, she mentioned going to the mall as a hobby because, well, she didn't have the money or time for much else, and the cafe where she worked was located at a mall. When she was little, she dreamed of finding unicorns and ending world hunger. As you can see, at least she fulfilled one of her wishes tonight. Madame gestured to the stage filled with unicorns, prompting a chuckle from several men. Amaya maintained a close-lipped smile, focusing on the back wall and the heavy, enormous set of double doors. Oh, how she would love to take off and not deal with the repercussions of her life.